What is the one thing that comes to mind when we say a furiously dangerous cat? A lion, right? Or maybe any animal from the family is convincingly dangerous and deadly. But what if we tell you otherwise? What if there exists a cat who is definitely not a lion and is in fact a cat with characteristics that are even more deadly than those of the king of the jungle himself? We knew you would not believe us. But that has clearly something to do with the fact that you might have never heard of the world's smallest and deadliest cat, the African black-footed cat. First things first, the black-footed cat is basically the smallest wild cat in Africa and is also known as the small spotted cat. As much as it looks like an ordinary street cat, we would like to give you a heads up that nothing about it is ordinary per se. For instance, despite the name being a black-footed cat, its foot is not completely black. Instead, only the sole part is black in color, which can even be dark brown at times. One of the most distinctive features of the black-footed cat is its ability to camouflage itself almost perfectly. Thanks to the bold-colored spots and stripes running all over its body, the camouflaging aspect works mind-blowingly well, especially when it comes to the nights of a bright full moon. The eyes of the African black-footed cat are so beautiful that its description is significantly difficult to put into the wording. Not to mention, the thick black streaks that run through the corner of its eyes, also streaks on its cheeks, and a thick tail with a black tip. If we can go back in time to know more about the history of the black-footed cat, we come to gather a great deal of information, right from its origin and discovery. You would be amazed to know that the first black-footed cat to be known by scientists and mankind was in 1824. The discovery happened in the northern Karoo of South Africa. During that time, the species was mostly seen in the arid steppes and grassland savannas of southern Africa. However, during the mid-1960s, it was also prominently seen in southern Botswana. As far as regions like Namibia and southern Zimbabwe were concerned, there were a few traces recorded, but their authenticity was somewhat questionable. Extensive studies revolving around African black-footed cats have always interested zoologists and nature experts, as it is usually conducted using radio telemetry and has been ongoing since 1993. Researchers have studied its behavior, food habits, and anything related to its habitat. Speaking of its characteristics and morphological features, the African black-footed cat is furry and entirely covered with black stripes and spots. The head of the cat is usually darker in color as compared to the rest of its body. Just like any other cat, the African black-footed cat's whiskers are white in color, whereas the hair just above the ears is dark brown. The belly is mostly white, and the legs have confusingly irregular elongated stripes. The overall color and pattern of the fur depend on the region the African black-footed cat resides. If it lives in the northern part of Africa, it is most likely to be lighter in color, whereas if it is found in the southern part, it would most probably be a bit darker, but the spots and stripes would be more clearly visible. The cat has around 3 ring-like stripes on its neck, which can either be reddish-brown or completely black. This wild cat is measured to be around 35 to 52 centimeters in height, which in inches can be around 14 to 20. No wonder the black-footed cat is the smallest species of cats in Africa. The females can reach up to 36.8 centimeters, whereas its male counterparts can reach up to a maximum height of 52 centimeters. The tails in females can be as long as 17 centimeters, whereas in males it can measure 20 centimeters at the most. That adorable little skull of the cat can be 77 to 87 millimeters in length and 38 to 40 millimeters in width. The ears of the African black-footed cat are a bit larger as compared to others in its family, with a range of 45 to 50 millimeters in females and 46 to 57 millimeters in males. As far as their weights are concerned, females weigh around 1.1 to 1.65 kilograms on average, whereas males weigh around 1.6 to 2.45 kilograms. The fact that the African black-footed cat is the smallest cat in Africa is justified because the African wildcat is believed to be nearly thrice as big as the black-footed cat, with longer legs and a longer tail. Plus, the African wildcat is quite distinctive in its appearance too, as it is mostly gray in color without any prominent spots or stripes. If there is any animal that resembles the African black-footed cat as close as possible, it is the serval. The serval has fur all over its body, which is of the same color and pattern as that of the African black-footed cats. The only major difference in the appearance of both the cats is the fact that the serval has comparatively larger ears, longer legs, and a longer tail. The African black-footed cat is mostly found in its natural southern African habitat. The population of other species of cats in this region is slightly more than the African black-footed cat, as the biggest population of the African black-footed cat is found in a range of areas like Namibia, Zimbabwe, Botswana, and Angola. However, it is rarely found in the Lesotho and Swaziland regions. It usually prefers to live in a dry, shrubby, and arid area with scattered grass of short height. Plus, it does not really prefer the cover of bushes. For instance, the Karoo region and the southwestern Kalahari are the most ideal habitat for an African black-footed cat. These areas are usually dry throughout the year, except for some distributed rains that happen once a while. Considering the behavior and traits of the African black-footed cat, it is nocturnal in nature. That is, it sleeps during the day and remains active throughout the night. Also, the cat mostly prefers to be by itself and is an antisocial, solitary animal. Well, except for when the females are supposed to take care of their litter, because then the male cats usually do not leave the female alone. The home of the African black-footed cat is a burrow where it rests during the day. The cat barely makes an effort to dig the burrow on its own, and rather resides in unoccupied burrows of animals like the aardvark or the Cape porcupine. Although it is not as lazy as you might think, at least not when its comfort is questioned. Hence, it energetically digs these pre-owned burrows further, according to its will, and makes it comfortable for itself to rest. As soon as the cat finds a suitable opportunity, it comes out of the burrows at night to search for food. These cats mostly prey on rodents and small birds. The African black-footed cat is a bit sensitive and rushes back inside the burrows if it happens to smell potential danger. After knowing this, you might be under the impression that the cat is a bit of a coward or does not know how to fight back. Well, not to disappoint you, but you are sadly mistaken. When the cat has to go face-to-face with its enemies, it has the deadliest way of fighting back and defends itself rather ferociously. It is because of this strength and courage that the African black-footed cat is also known as the anthill tiger of the Karoo region in South Africa. There are even stories that the African black-footed cat can even kill a giraffe, which is more than 10 times its size, just by piercing the giraffe's jugular. Weighing roughly 200 times less than your typical lion, don't be fooled by its demure stature. The species is also the deadliest of all the world's felines, capturing more prey in a single night than a leopard does in 6 months. The cat has a comparatively faster metabolic rate, which needs it to keep on hunting until his hunger is satisfied. Incredibly, previous research has shown that the black-footed cat's predation success rate is 60%. Comparatively, lions only succeed in catching their victims about 20 to 25% of the time. The female black-footed cats give birth after a gestation period of 63 to 68 days on average. After the offspring is born, it becomes independent roughly around the age of 3 to 4 months. The females reach sexual maturity within 7 months, whereas it takes 9 months for the males to mature. The average life expectancy of the cat is believed to be 15 years. According to the 2016 IUCN Red List of Threatened Species, the African black-footed cat is vulnerable, meaning it is at a high risk of endangerment in the wild. Also being prone to infections and diseases, their population is under serious threat. And not just that, the gradual deterioration of their natural habitat due to overgrazing, unsuitable farming methods, and hunting by humans are other key factors of their rapid decline. To curb such practices, appropriate action is being taken and conservation projects have been implemented over the years to protect the survival of the black-footed cat. The African black-footed cat resembles a petite version of your average neighborhood cat, but though the speckled feline is clearly adorable, a vicious, adept killer lies beneath its charming exterior. Let us know in the comments below which beautiful beast you'd like to watch next time. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.